Author's POV. It's raining, and the cloud was dark just like how 𝖗𝖆 feels right now. Sitting on the chair having her head down, and without her notice, tears started to fall down her cheeks. They just done finishing Saint's funeral. Thankfully everything went well even though it's raining. 𝖗𝖆 sits still in the chair. She's devastated with all of this. Opening her eyes as she looks up and see her friends. 𝖗𝖆. 𝖗𝖊 kneeled down and pulled the girl into a hug. 𝖗𝖆 broke down on her shoulder as she can feel her body shaking. Let it out, it's okay. Cade rubbed her back, helping to calming her down while T sighed with the sight of her friend's condition right now. This is my fault, 𝖗𝖊. Everything is my fault. I don't know, what am I gonna do now, 𝖗𝖊? Please tell me what I should do. 𝖗𝖆 looked at 𝖗𝖊 with teary eyes. 𝖗𝖊 didn't reply to the question. Instead, she pulled the girl into a hug again, letting 𝖗𝖆 cry on her shoulder. 𝖗𝖊 couldn't say anything because she's not in her shoes right now. Agent 𝖗𝖆. 𝖗𝖆 looked up and saw the other agent looking at her as she wiped her tears. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Perth wanted to see you, Billy added, looking at 𝖗𝖆. She took a deep breath, repeating herself repeatedly to control her anger and emotions since she gonna be facing the guy who destroyed everything. 𝖗𝖆 nodded her head, standing up as all her friends walk away, giving them a few spaces. And there she saw Perth with a handcuffed on his hands, following by Tor behind him. He looks at the picture of Saint before looking at 𝖗𝖆. His eyes look different as he stand in front of 𝖗𝖆. The girl didn't show any expression looking at him. He looked devastated just like her. Saint really gone? He asked, his voice cracked, looking at 𝖗𝖆. What do you think, Perth? 𝖗𝖆 gritted her teeth, holding herself up. 𝖗𝖆, is Saint really gone now? He asked again as he started to break down as he can feel his legs getting weak. And he fall on his knees sobbing. 𝖗𝖆 looked down and just watched him. They couldn't read her expression right now. She didn't say anything. Her eyes looks empty. Look for yourself now, Perth. Are you happy? 𝖗𝖆 asked as her lips tremble. Clenching her fist as she turned around, sobbing uncontrollably. Her jaw tightened, holding on all her emotions. Please bring him back. I don't want to see his fucking face anymore. 𝖗𝖆 ordered without looking at him as Tor immediately get him up. 𝖵 no, let me stay here longer, Perth begged, still kneeling down on his knee. Not minding the voice behind her, she closed her eyes, letting all the unwanted tears falling down from her cheeks. After Perth went back in the van, 𝖗𝖆 turned around and wiped her tears, getting her coat as she walked away from the place, going straight to her car. 𝖗𝖆. Where are you going? 𝖗𝖊 catch up, grabbing her arm, making 𝖗𝖆 look at her. Hospital. Becky. 𝖗𝖆 slowly hold the girl's hand, rubbing the palm as she broke down in tears again. Looking at her, Becky, kissing her palm repeatedly. Can you please wake up? It's been 24 hours now, can you wake up? I just came back from Saint's funeral, everything went well and I miss you. 𝖗𝖆 mumbles, thinking that Becky would hear everything. She sat down on the chair beside the bed, leaning her head on the bed, still holding on Becky's hand tightly, not wanting to let it go. I miss you, Becky. I miss you so much, love, 𝖗𝖆 said between her sobs. Her heart feels heavy. She couldn't think straight anymore, just hoping that Becky would wake up soon without any bad consequences. When you wake up, I will fix everything, Beck. I will wait for you to wake up, alright? I will wait, love. 𝖗𝖆 looked up to Becky, looking at the beautiful face of her lover as her sobs become louder, seeing Becky in this state. How she wish it was her instead. How she wish it was her that took the bullet from Saint instead. How she wish everything is only a dream. But everything is real. It's a fate that she couldn't change. I'm sorry. She apologized again, tightened the grip on Becky's hand. Miss 𝖗𝖆. Her thoughts cut off after hearing someone call her as she turned her back and saw the doctor and an unfamiliar faces. She immediately wiped her tears, looking at the people in front of her. This is Mr. Armstrong's family. They just arrived, the doctor explained as 𝖗𝖆 can feel her knees become weak. The doctor bowed his head before getting out of the room, letting the family have some space. 𝖗𝖆, on the other hand, stands still, looking down as she didn't have the courage to face Becky's family. I'm sorry. 𝖗𝖆 kneeled down, apologizing again and again, looking down on the floor as she couldn't stop her tears. Feeling a pair of hands on her shoulder as she looks up and saw an older woman looking at her, slowly pulling her up. 𝖗𝖆 wiped her tears, facing the older woman. Oh dear, have you eaten yet? She cupped 𝖗𝖆's face, wiping the tears away. 𝖗𝖆 froze on her spot, still couldn't understand everything yet. She knew the woman in front of her is Becky's mother. But she didn't expect it will be like this. She was getting ready for a hard slap on her face. Not this, still blaming herself as her eyes shaken again. Becky is right, you're really pretty, dear. Stop crying now, alright? Your friend already explained everything to us, and I know it's not your fault, so stop blaming yourself, dear, the older woman said, making 𝖊𝖇 broke down again as she slowly pulled the younger girl into a hug. 𝖊𝖇 didn't even know how much she broke down today and how much she apologized to everyone. Bawling her eyes out on the older woman's shoulder as she hugged her tightly. She didn't know that Becky already told her family about them. It broke her even more to meet her family in this kind of situation. Pulling away from the hug as Becky's family walked towards the bed, looking at the girl laying hopelessly on the bed. The doctor already explained everything to us about her condition. I'm sure she will be alright, 𝖊𝖇. Don't worry, okay? We are sorry that we didn't get to attend the funeral, Mrs. Armstrong said, rubbing 𝖊𝖇's arm, calming her down. It's okay, ma'am. Oh, drop the formalities, just call me Mom. 𝖊𝖇 looked at her surprised with the answer, turning her head to Becky's father and brother, who having a small smile on their face. Alright, ma'am, I mean Mom, 𝖊𝖇 stuttered, making the older woman chuckle. You haven't eaten yet, right? Come join us for lunch, Mr. Armstrong said, making 𝖊𝖇 look at him. Still couldn't get used to this new situation. She didn't know what to do, but at the same she's glad that Becky's family accept her. It's okay, I still need to do something first. You guys can have your lunch first. It must be tiring, right? I appreciate the offer, 𝖊𝖇 politely declined. She didn't have any appetite to eat, not in this state. She still need to calm her mind down and slowly accepting thing. Too bad, dear, after you finish with your work. Eat something, alright? You need to have some energy, Becky's mom said, rubbing 𝖊𝖇's arm. Yes, and Mom and 𝖊𝖇 bowed down, still couldn't get used to the new name. They smile as they bid their goodbye to 𝖊𝖇 before getting out from Becky's room. 𝖊𝖇 take a deep sigh before looking at Becky, taking her hand before kissing the palm. I will be right back, love, I love you. 𝖊𝖇 whispered before slowly getting out of the room. Can we stop for a while? I need to use the toilet, Perth spoke up after being quiet for the entire ride. Tor looked at Billy, signaling him to let the guy. Stopping their car in front of the public toilet before getting Perth out of the car as Billy assisted him inside the toilet. Can you uncuff me? I promise if I run away just shoot me, Perth said, looking at Billy. Billy hesitated for a while before uncuffing the guy, thinking how he gonna do his business if his hand are cuffed. Walking inside one of the cubicles as he locked the door, sitting on the toilet seat. Looking at the floor, and suddenly his tears couldn't stop flowing from his cheek. Saint. I'm sorry, he cried silently, holding on his heavy chest, pulling out a necklace, grasping it on his hand, sobbing silently. I'm sorry. I love you so much. Looking at the necklace on his hand as he can feel his heart broke even more, remembering all their good time together. Leaning his body on the toilet seat as he took out something from his pocket. Still crying silently as he looked at the drug on his hand for a minute. It's the killer drug that he used on one of the girls before. I will come with you, love, wait for me, he whispered before injecting his arm, closing his eyes. That's how he ended his life. Just to follow the person he loves. Mom 𝖊𝖇 stood up from her seat, surprised after seeing her mom walking towards her. 𝖊𝖇, explain to me what is happening right now. And Mom, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? Why didn't you tell me earlier that Becky is in the hospital? What is this, 𝖗𝖊𝖇? What are you hiding from me? The older woman held both of her daughter's arm, looking at her curiously. 𝖊𝖇 take a deep sigh as she doubting herself whether she should be honest to the woman or not. Feeling frustrated as she looked at her mom and without her noticed her tears fall down. And Mom 𝖊𝖇 voice cracked before hugging her mom, tightly wanting to let out all her emotion towards her one and only family she have. Crying on her shoulder as she didn't know what to do anymore. 𝖊𝖇. And Mom, I'm sorry for lying to you. I'm so sorry, please don't hate me, Mom. 𝖊𝖇 choked on her words as she tightened the hug, scared what gonna happen if she told the truth. 𝖊𝖇, what is happening right now? Please be honest with me, honey, the woman said, rubbing her daughter's back. 𝖊𝖇 pulled away from the hug, holding on the older woman's hands, sobbing silently before looking at her mom. I didn't work in 𝖊𝖇's company, Mom. I still followed Dad's step to become an agent. I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry. Becky got hurt while we were doing the admission. I told her to lie about herself being an agent too. Mom, I'm so sorry, please don't hate me. Tighten the grip on her hands as 𝖊𝖇 looked down after telling her darkest secrets towards her own mom, didn't have the courage to see her reaction as she sobbing, kneeling down on the floor. I'm sorry, Mom. 𝖊𝖇. Pulling her daughter into a tight hug as she broke down in tears. Why didn't you tell me earlier, 𝖊𝖇? Why are you keeping all of this to yourself? How can I hate you, sweetie? You're the only one I have. I'm so sorry for making you feel like that. I'm so sorry, honey. Hearing her mom answer, making 𝖊𝖇𝖊𝖈𝖈𝖆 tighten the hug as she cried again. Only God knows how glad she is. Despite having in a difficult situation, a lot of people still support her. Come on, now stop crying, okay? My daughter is strong and I know she can handle this. Let's pray that Becky will be just alright. 𝖊𝖇𝖊𝖈𝖈 looked at her mom wiping her tears as she nodded her head. Smiling as she hugged her mom again like a little girl, knowing that her mom is her only comfort zone after Becky. Time skip. 𝖊𝖇𝖊𝖈𝖈𝖆 POV. I can't even count how many times did I cry today. My head hurts so bad to the point that I can't open my eyes anymore. I try my best to sat down on the couch in Becky's room but failed. Fuck, I hate this. I need Becky. My life feels so empty without hearing her voice. It's been 2 days and she still haven't wake up and the news about Perth's death still haunt me. He killed himself before I get to question him. He indeed still in love with Saint. I don't know what should I do now that Saint is gone. Who gonna run the agency now? I promised my mom and myself that I'm not gonna take a part in all of this. No, I can't do this anymore. After what happened to Becky and Saint, I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. Maybe I should just ask 𝖗𝖊𝖇𝖊𝖈𝖆𝖈 about this since he is one of the longest people working on there.
Yeah.
I need to talk with him. I force myself to stand up, ignoring my headache as I slowly walk towards Becky's bed, sitting on the chair as I hold her hand. You still look pretty, babe. It just looks like you are sleeping. Can you hear me? I wish you could, I said, rubbing her palm with my thumb. I miss you so much, 𝖗𝖊𝖇𝖊𝖈𝖆𝖈. Please wake up soon so that I could kiss you and hug you, I said, kissing her palm a lot of times. The doctor said she is getting better now, but still couldn't tell when will she wake up. I leave a quick kiss on her forehead as I look at my watch and saw it's 9 a.m. already. I decided to take care of Becky every night. I don't want to leave her side anymore, and I want to be the first person she see after she woke up. But for now I'm gonna work in my mom's cafe since one of her worker already stopped working. She refused because I told her that I'm going to help her in the morning and go back to Bangkok after I finished. I know she's worried that I'm gonna get tired since it took me 2 hours just to drive there, but I don't care. I'm gonna help my mom and take care of Becky at the same time. Becky's family said they're gonna move to Thailand in 1 week, and I'm kinda glad for that. I know Becky have been missing her family so much. I can't wait for her to wake up and tell her about this. No matter how long it's gonna be, I'm still gonna wait for her.